Hey everybody, welcome back to Sketchbook Sessions. For this year, 2026 is the first video of the year that I'm filming. I thought it would be fun to start off with like a little creativity jumpstart. So I made myself this list of drawing prompts. And I got some dice here. So let's just get right into it and see what we're going to draw today. 35. Which is a knight. Well, that's awesome. Okay. All right, so grab your pencils, grab your sketchbooks, and we'll get right into it. So because I'm drawing knights, I thought it might be fun to show off this Dark Souls book. It's a really cool art book from the games. And in here they have all kinds of dark medieval fantasy. But that is actually the page that I was looking for. Lothric Knight. But this video is not about that. However, this book is really good inspiration for dark fantasy. Anyways, got my sketchbook here. Let's find the next page that I'm working with. I think it's pretty fun to like use this left page as like your designing area, and this page is more of a finished product. So I mentioned it before, but I really prefer sketchbooks that lay flat. I think that's really important. This one doesn't lay perfectly flat, but it lays flat enough. So I'm just gonna draw some quick thumbnails of knights here, kind of get some inspiration. So my apologies, but this part of the video didn't turn out very well. The sunlight and the red pencil is a bad combination. Next time I will be aware. But basically all I'm doing is creating thumbnails here, and it's a good idea to just draw some stick figures in various positions, put a horizon line on them so they know where they're standing, put a directionality on their face so they know where they're looking, do some close-ups, do some armor, just kind of test draw whatever you are trying to illustrate, really. And because this is your sketchbook, it doesn't have to look good and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do it, to be honest. I did a few things here. I did some standing figures, I did 2 different helmet designs, and then I started thinking about the Dark Souls book earlier, and I thought, you know what, I want this to be like the classic Dark Souls save screen where I do a night by a campfire. And then I did a couple of these just to try and get the like angle of him a little bit better. Next time I will not use the red pencil. I think that was a mistake. But I do like it because you can see here in a second that this character is going to get very muddy. Totally unintentionally, I think I redrew his legs like 4 or 5 times. And the red pencil you can see a lot better than graphite. Once you start using graphite, then you're got to use the eraser or else you're screwed. But anyway, I'm about to switch to pen here pretty quickly, and then I'm going to use paint markers to go over that, and you should be able to see it clearly again. Probably starting to get a little unreadable right now, so I think I'm going to switch to pen. And remember, this is a sketchbook exercise. This does not have to look good. You don't have to show it to anybody like I am. But I promise you, this will look good, so just stick around. Trust the process. Always, always, always trust the process. All right, now that is one big mistake after another, now I can begin with a little bit of detail. He's still sitting on a rock. Horizon has moved up just a little bit. There is still a campfire here. And I'm kind of trying to stick with the same form and angle, so this campfire ring, you will draw it as if it's kind of like a tight oval. And I'm not going to draw the rocks in the back just yet because I want those flames to be in there first. I draw fire, it kind of looks like tentacles, but I don't care. You can even add some more little bits happening up here. As I always say, values are where things come into fruition, so I want it to be much darker down here, and then it kind of looks more like a fire. But I have some bigger pens to play with on there for that. Next thing is the knight. So his visor has a slit to see through. And it has some kind of little vent holes. And they usually have chainmail fabric, or fabric, I mean, over the breastplate. At least this one's going to. That fabric underneath is usually a gambeson. It's a real thick, heavy material. So it kind of has a lot of like textures and folds associated with it. Oftentimes you'll see knights portrayed with belts over the armor, or just like a fabric belt. And that's what we're going to go with here. There will be straps for the breastplate. Straps for the bracers. Usually some armor on the back of the hand even. And since this is a Dark Souls character, he's going to be very kind of dead-ish. You can see where you can kind of refine some of these details. I'm actually planning on using paint pens, maybe. So I'm not really too worried about the details that much. I imagine the paint pens will just totally ruin this drawing. Because I have never used them before. Brand new set of paint pens. So, drawing of a knight complete. Got these paint pens from Amazon. They're actually surprisingly good quality, but I've never used them. Just beyond making test marks. So, let's try gray. They're super smooth, but they're not as opaque as I was gonna say, which is a good thing because I can still see my pen underneath. That actually really helps clean it up a little bit. Alright, so I'm going to save this area right next to the fire for a lighter gray. But I am going to use this dark gray on the rocks. And on the character a little bit. Basically where the light from the fire is not hitting the character, I'm doing the far side of all of the metal bits. And this rock back here. Since I'm using the same color as the armor, I want to try and preserve some of the white of the page just to separate it a little bit. This character is going to exist in a void. It's not usual. I love to do backgrounds, but today I'm just going to do black. Oh, I definitely didn't take into account that it might be wet. I'm used to dealing with alcohol markers that dry immediately. And I'm going to keep on doing it. That's how you smear your page. If you are doing something like just graphite drawing or something where you might smear your page, you can always put a piece of paper underneath your palm while you're drawing. Since I'm stopping the black in a very discrete place, I kind of want it to fade a little bit, so I'm doing that texture. Up here, I think I'll just do a line. Now I'm going to grab the lightest gray that I have for the parts that are facing the fire, and I was wondering if they were going to be not opaque enough, but I think it's fine. Ideally, if I was working on a finished sketch or a finished drawing, like for a commission or something, I probably would want to erase the pencil. But this is my sketchbook and I can do anything I want. They don't blend great, they go opaque over each other, which is actually pretty handy. Now I want something like a blue for the fabric. Oh. Totally removing my pen marks. That's okay. Let's see, do I have like a really dark color? Besides black. Apparently not. Apparently this brown is the darkest like color that I have. Oh, some of the armor didn't get colored in. So now I'm going to go in with the blackest black. That's actually too much. So I'm going to go back to the pen. Yeah, I think these paint pens combined with a micron or something, I think that's the way to go for me. To get the maximum amount of detail I can. Really don't like how that arm's looking, which is amazing that I can just go back and paint over it. That's looking a lot more natural. And then I'm going to try out some yellow and orange. So fire is like bright white in the middle, then it goes out to yellow, then it goes out to orange, then it goes out to red. So the darker colors will be on the outside. And this red colored pencil is working great for like kind of fire highlights. So I think that's all I'm going to do today, but I hope you guys liked the first sketchbook session of 2026, and let me know what you think in the comments. If you think I should do anything differently, I'm all ears. Just give this one a little signature. 26. Wow, time flies. All right, stay tuned for the next one. Bye. Hey, if you liked that video, YouTube thinks you're going to like this video too. Go ahead and click on it. Thanks. Bye.